They're in.
Patch me into them.
Alright, gentlemen, you know the drill.
Got it, sir. Consider it done. You know, if we have no casualties this mission, then we'll probably have a budget surplus next quarter.
Yeah, this saving the world thing is actually pretty easy. Do you think those interceptors in Australia will have... What was that?
It's an order from the research lab. Hang on, I'll patch it in.
Central.
What is it, guys? This is kind of a bad time.
We've been working for like 2 hours and we wanna take a break. Is that
Central, the squad is pinned.
Okay, guys, this is really a bad time. We're in the middle of a combat operation.
Well, my team isn't gonna work until we can resolve these horrible working conditions.
Well,
Scrub the mission. We need to renegotiate these guys' contracts.
god damn it. Commander's not gonna like this.
Ceasefire, boys. Mission's off.
Got it, boss. Ready for extraction.
Actually, we're going to leave you there for a bit. In the meantime, just stay where you are.
Well, this sucks.
Alright, that's sorted out. Ready to continue, boys? Boys? Are you there?
I worked on that script when I should have been studying for exams. You know, I really like turn-based video games. You know, I have a ton on my Steam library, like the greats, like, you know, Civilization, Warhammer, and of course, XCOM. And they're less about moving fast and who has the best skill and who has the best reflexes, and they're more about being slow and methodical and choosing what's the best course of action and reflecting on the situation and seeing what scenarios could take place, but you have more time to think about it and make a better move. This is part of why I like board games when others don't. It's a very niche hobby, similar to how turn-based games are kind of niche these days. XCOM Enemy Unknown and its sequel are both very good games for this reason, because they deviate from the norm of what's on the market now in gaming, and they go back to gaming's roots, and they take a look at how a computer game used to be. And I think that the reason that XCOM, the board game, does so well is that it deviates from the norm of turn-based board games. It has you playing most of the game in real time. How does that work? Let's find out.
So this is what the board looks like all set up, and already there's a lot going on here. You know, we have XCOM interceptor jets flying out to the world to shoot down UFOs. We have satellites being launched into orbit to defend planet Earth from imminent attack. We have cool technologies being researched, like a UFO satellite defense matrix that we can research with some scientists. And coolest of all, we have a whole team of elite, nicely sculpted XCOM operatives. And they need to go either on missions to help win the game, or more likely, defend the base so that we don't all die. But the secret sauce that holds this game together is the XCOM app, which I can't show you right now because I don't have a tablet handy, but let's pretend that this piece of postage is the app. So one player was going to get to sit and control it, and they'll press a button, and it'll start to give them commands slowly, in a very well-programmed kind of system that I was actually pleasantly surprised by. So you'd be like, you know, okay, scientist, draw new cards, and he'll draw 6 new cards off of his cool technology deck, and then balance the budget commander, and already the game is funny and cool because we're yelling at each other and trying to panic as we have a time limit on which we can do all these things. And we're panicking because we can't get these things done fast enough unless we achieve superhuman speed somehow, and it just gets really funny and really cool and really fast-paced, which already wakes you up. And in the time phase here, there is no downtime, because every character, every role is being taken on has something to do all the time. Let's look at them now. If you're the commander, congratulations! You're in charge of the entire XCOM project, which is not as fun or easy as it might sound. Your main job is to manage the XCOM budget, which is represented by these generic currency units. I think they're simoleons, actually. You're going to need these, because every time that there's a jet on the board that needs to be paid for fuel, If there's a soldier being sent out, that has to pay for their equipment. If there's a satellite being launched, you have to pay for the rocket. And if there's a scientist being used, yes, you have to just pay for his expensive services. And already it's a bit of a balancing act, because what's more important, fending off these guys who are in the base now and trying to defend the base, or maybe spending a little extra money on science this round to get the technology that you need to pay for a new cool research thing that might help us go through another mission faster. And your friends are going to be arguing and discussing what thing needs to be paid for, and there's going to be selfishness, and that's part of the fun. I have a friend who normally doesn't like board games, but when he sat down to play this game, he was passionately pleading with the commander for more money so we could buy more troops, because these things, if they die, it's an additional unit of currency to pay for another one, and then it costs more to deploy them, so you're paying double if they die, so you don't want them to die. No. And pray that you don't tap into the emergency funds here, which is like a deck of cards here. Oh, well, they also fell to fill off. But it's a card that has a bunch of money on it, and you can tap into it once per round to take any money you need, but the money doesn't come back. So if you run out of emergency funding, your other job is to dispatch, or as I like to say, scramble these interceptor jets across the world to take out UFOs and fling them off the board like ping pong balls. But they're expensive too, and they can also be shot down, and like troops, they have to be paid for again if they're destroyed, so don't do that. Easy enough. Sound good? Good, don't screw it up. Howdy there, Central Officer. Welcome to the office. And it's fitting because if the commander is the boss, you're the secretary. You get to hold the app, which sounds fun, until you realize that you're just in charge of keeping everything alive and keeping everything from dying. You're the one who has to put these UFOs out, you have to call out commands from the app, and you have to tick up this dice marker, which we'll get to later. Frick, I dropped it. You gotta hurry your friends along, make sure that they get their jobs done fast, because if they don't, everyone dies. And you have to... This sounds boring, but this was the first thing I played as, and take it from me, it's a lot of fun to yell at your friends, because what is a cooperative board game if you can't just yell at your friends to do things better? Additionally, you have to take these satellites and launch them into orbit to take out enemy ships that are in orbit, and if they stay in orbit, they're going to start messing with the app in a really interesting way that I only ran into once, but it definitely threw me off, and it really does screw you over. It makes you do guesswork. I'm not going to say what it is because, I don't know, that would be a spoiler. As the squad leader, you're going to get the cool job of leading these fun little guys who are made out of paper because they die so often into battle like you do in the video games. And I'm too close to the camera. And this is really cool because you have to put them in and just prioritize, do you need them to complete this mission and get a bonus, or do you just need to defend the base so you don't die? Because if this cool little tick marker of base health gets to the top, or I guess the bottom, the game's over for everybody. So don't screw this up. You have to pay for these guys, and you have to assign them equipment, and you have to allocate their special talents, which are indicated by these symbols, onto the aliens and tasks you need to do. So you match it up correctly, so you can actually roll dice that round. Sometimes you'll be told to choose a mission, which will help benefit you guys, and sometimes you might be told to put aliens into the base because they're invading you and they want you dead. Also, you have a cool Sky Ranger, which lets you eliminate crises, which I didn't talk about because it's kind of a minor part of the game. But yeah, the commander draws crises, and they choose two, and they can pick up two, and then they get to choose one, and then it goes a bit wrong. And this is all on a time limit too, so don't screw it up. And this is the most important role, in my opinion, because they win the game for everybody. Each game is going to have a cool final mission, which I've lost the card for, but there's a final mission that sort of defines the game, and if you win that final mission, you win. But another cool little layer of aspect that kind of reminds me of the old game is that you can pay money to have one of your lame old soldiers upgraded to an elite soldier, and they roll double dice for every mission, which you have to do anyway because only elite soldiers can go on to the last mission, which can be problematic at times. So go fast, choose the right equipment that the science officer will give you, and don't spend too much money because the squad leader kind of tends to suck money out of the program like a succubus. The chief scientist's role is an odd one. They're the guy who has to research cool new technologies and put them into the technology research slot and add scientists to them. And you get to give your friends cool benefits, which is good. You can give them something cool that will help you, I don't know, get more money or maybe do better in a mission. But the problem is if you fail to, say, develop, say, I don't know, a satellite targeting system, it's not game-changing. If you fail to put guys onto the thing, the only thing it does is cost money, but that's what happens anyway. And there's no real threat if you lose the game. What I'm trying to say is the chief scientist is the only player without any real urgency, because you can sometimes you'll research it and that's good, or you won't research it and oh well, you lost some money. But it's not like it's a game-changing event if you can't put together that plasma cannon in time. Although the plasma cannon is quite good. And you know what also disappointed me? I don't have it handy, but you can make like the guns and everything else, they all have kind of the same effect, where it's like, oh, place 1 success token on the enemy alien. But, like, come on. If you're making a Shiv unit, which is, if you play the game, it's basically Bastion from Overwatch, it has the same effect as making a cool little pistol. Which is kind of disappointing, because I was hoping for something a little more there, but it still helps you win the game. All of these conflicts, whether you're shooting an alien, destroying a UFO in orbit, or here, or researching some tech, are resolved the same way with these dice. And if you like pushing your luck, if you like kind of unique outside-the-box dice systems, you're going to find this game system pretty radical. So let's say that we're in this scenario here. There's a UFO over South Africa that we want to take out. Now, there's only one UFO, which should be easy, so we only need to roll 1 success token, or icon, on the die. But we only get 1 die there, because there's only 1 jet there. In addition, we have to roll the cool die, which is the little D8, which seems innocent, but it's quite fickle. We have to roll these both at one time, and if you get a success token, that's great. He's dead. But if you happen to roll a 1, then you're destroyed. And this is the same if there's 2 or even 3 interceptors there. If you roll the 1, they're all destroyed. And of course, if you fail to roll it, and they're still there, you can roll again. But the only catch being, you have to tick this meter up. So now, if you roll a 2 or a 1, you get blown up. It gets harder and harder to complete the task as you go on, but sometimes you still really need to push your luck. There's an incentive to push your luck in this push your luck dice system. I love this system so much. Oh my god, you have no idea. When I first started playing with it, I thought it was kind of weird, but it turned out to be quite radical. If the mission fails and everyone dies, that sucks, because the squad is wiped. The planes are all gone. The satellites are all destroyed, and the scientists, they go on strike or something. I don't know. The game doesn't really say, but they just kind of get tired like that, which is another flaw that's another thing entirely. But you get cool stuff from winning, you know? You get to complete this, and you get to complete the missions, which give you huge bonuses, especially late game, because as the game goes on, you find it harder to devote the resources to completing a mission, similar to in the real XCOM board game, or XCOM Unknown, rather. Man, there's a lot of stuff going on in this game. Vigili Confido. Wait, there you go. Vigili Confido. Is it a good game? It's a good game. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I enjoyed playing it. I played it only twice, but both times everyone was laughing and enjoying it, and they were really getting stressed about losing, which is a symptom of a good co-op game, frankly. That does not mean that this game is without sin. There are some flaws that we're going to go over now. Start the game with asset cards. These are fun. They're cool little unique take that cards that you can tap at any time, roll during the time phase or during the non-timed phase. And you can have cool little bonuses like moving a UFO from orbit to a continent or otherwise. And the tech cards that you get, they're cool because they behave like new asset cards, which is really brilliant because it actually sort of connects the two systems in a cool way that I've not seen done before. But again, the new ones you get are boring. You get some of the cool one is revive, and you can revive a dead soldier. But come on, A little more effort could have gone into here, please. The manual is invitingly slim, but it doesn't teach you how to play the game. To play the game, you have to boot up the app and use the tutorial, which I found kind of unhelpful, and it sort of didn't explain everything that I wanted to know about the game. Ended up having to watch a watch it play video to figure out how the game works, they're a great channel, by the way. And if you want to take a rule after that, you can't, because all you have is like an FAQ kind of thing that is useless. It's okay. Well, it's okay, but it's kind of garbage. It has stupid rules that you'll never ask, and card anatomy. Like, it shows you the anatomy of a card, which is exceptionally useless. All in all, though, I can forgive these flaws because this game's a really good game. There's a lot of stuff going on here, different tasks, different things, but there's a bug which a lot of reviewers have complained about, and I think that it might turn some people off the game. The dice system is the same for every minigame. There's no clever little puzzle you're working at yourself. It's the same dice system. But as Quince from Shut Up and Sit Down said, the dice system is like a crapshoot. It's so good that it has everybody, really excited if you win, and really annoyed if you lose. And that's good. That's good. I want more cool systems like that make me celebrate or mourn. So, overall, good dice system that should not turn you off with this game.
And you know what? I gotta recommend XCOM the board game. 9 out of 10. And whether you love the XCOM series, or you're into co-op games, or you're just really excited to hold the iPad during a board game and not get yelled at for it, XCOM is the game for you. And although it's understandable if you're turned off by the whole dilemma of repetitive dice systems, it's really not something that should distract you from the money and the app, which are the game's really cool game mechanics. So if the game intrigues you, buy it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go scramble some interceptors.